There are many things that Ibn Abdul Wahab said and did that people who call themselves, and I'm not saying all, some people who call themselves Salafi today don't do it, don't follow. So they can't be attached to Muhammad Ibn Wahab. From that is jihad. Muhammad Ibn Abdul Wahab, when you read his books, if you read the letters that he wrote, there's no ambiguity about the fact that he was about two instruments. Two instruments were pivotal in his da'wah. The pen and the sword. That's a person comes along today, says, I'm Salafi, or I'm upon Salafi, or whatever. And they'll basically tell you there is no jihad. That's this. No, there are many different excuses and conditions. This scholar says this, you can't fight, blah, blah, blah. The people, they shouldn't be fighting right now. And Gaza, they should be teaching Tawheed, and that's it. And Ibn Abdul Wahab, the one that this person is attaching himself to, or me or you, is saying these Salafis or Wahhabis, they don't even realize that Ibn Abdul Wahab is here and they're here. And between the two was a sword. And the person today in 23 has removed the sword. And Ibn Abdul Wahab, may Allah have mercy upon him, in his day from the forefront was the what? So once again, is the attachment to Ibn Abdul Wahab from this one and that one, is that accurate? I don't understand this. And if it's not jihad, takfir. There lies no doubt about the fact. Ibn Abdul Wahab did not hide the fact that a big part of his da'wah was takfir. Were people that are no longer Muslims. And of course, that's a confusing topic. People think that takfir is just off limits. We don't make takfir, we don't make takfir, we don't make takfir. We don't make takfir. That's what the Salaf said and believed. That's what's proven by Quran and Sunnah. The drunkard who's a Muslim is not considered or called a kafir. No. Brainwash. La ya sheikh. We do not make takfir upon sinners. Who's Muslim, he knows that he's a fornicator. It's wrong. He is not a kafir. The one who abuses the wealth of the orphan, the one who runs on the battlefield, is a sinner. Our aqidah is not to deem them to be kafir. They take that and they turn that into, Mansur says, wearing blue pants is from the deen. You have to wear blue pants. He who doesn't wear blue pants has no iman, etc., etc., etc. I say, whoa, that's wrong. Is that in the Quran? Is that in the Sunnah? Is that a part of Islam? He says, it is. Then I would say, if you continue to say that, you are a, or even if I don't point you out, anyone who says that is a, did I make takfir on him for being a sinner? Yes or no? Did I call him a kafir because of a sin? Khalifa, yes or no? I did not. I called him or said that he was a kafir based off of an issue that I consider to nullify his Islam, because I never attacked Mansur for sins. He declared these Muslims to be non-Muslims. Why? Because they were drinking alcohol? Because they were fornicating? Because they were stealing? Because they were beating and abusing their wives? Because they weren't paying it? Why did he call them kafir? Thank you. Next step. Ibn Abdul Wahab could be what? What could he be? He could be right and he could be. So therefore, the people today who call themselves Salafi, or whatever the case may be, do they have this discrimination in detail? They don't. Daesh, ISIL, ISIS, whatever word or term is used, Islamic State. We have to fight. Jihad is the backbone of Islam, etc., 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 etc. And then someone in the DMV area who says Salafiyah, jihad, no. Jihad the nafs. No, you're disobeying the ruler. No, we need to call to Tawheed. There is no fight. How can I say that these people are the what? Let's play the devil's advocate now. Everybody listen carefully. This one here says, all right, listen carefully. Everybody listen up. He here says that this leader here is a disbeliever. He's a kafir, right? Why, how? I'm with him, he said it, right? Another scholar or group or organization, he says this leader is not a what? Not a kafir. Beautiful. 3 elements, 3 pieces now. Who said that blue is automatically right and silver is wrong? Who determines who's right and wrong? That the silver is, stay with me, Sheikh Abdul, stay with me now. We're saying that the silver is an extremist. He's a zealot. extreme takfir, Wahab, based off of what? Just because Blue said he's not? I'm saying right now, in theory, why is silver wrong just because Blue says it? Listen, for argument's sake now, because if you call this person an extremist, a takfiri, he's a fighter, he's a terrorist, the terrorist can turn around and say that you're a what? A coward. Who says I'm right, you're wrong? How is that determined? Just because I say it or you say it? So Ibn Abdul Wahab, this is a fact. In several of his books, he quotes consensus, and he's not making it up. There is consensus of whoever says this has left Islam. How not come around and say Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahab is an extremist? That's unfair. That's wrong. That's incorrect. Ibn Abdul Wahab's opinion may be right, may be wrong. But if he's saying Kitab, Sunnah, Ijma, I can't abuse him. And who is determining who's an extremist and who's a terrorist? We talking about Palestine and Israel. This is a serious issue. Who's calling Hamas terrorists? IDF, America, France. What do? For their political gains and interests, that people today with different Dawah movements and groups, whether Salafi or whatever name, no doubt they are attaching themselves to Ibn Abdul Wahab. And they've benefited from his teachings and they call to his teachings. But I'm trying to tell you is that there are many differences between Ibn Abdul Wahab and between the people today. Ibn Abdul Wahab was hardcore. The people today are, and this is one of the problems of the governments and the rebellions and the takfir and the khuruj, etc., etc., etc. And that is, there are people who say your aqidah is correct, but your position towards these kuffar, between these governments, Palestine, etc., is clearly, one can say that there are different strands of Wahhabism, for argument's sake, no problem. But under any circumstance, is everyone who quotes Ibn Abdul Wahab the same? I'll never ever disagree with that, ever. No way you can convince me. There are people who say this, and there are people who say that. So if you call this person an extremist, they may call you a murtad. They may call you a munafiq. You live with the kuffar. Yep. You pay taxes to the kuffar. Yep. You live in a land of kufr, the shirk, and homosexuality. No. You support non-Muslims killing Muslims. No. It's important for us to have these as men, as brothers, not behind your back, face to face. It's not about who's right or who's wrong or it's about talking. And everybody, you're going to have your own conviction in your heart. That's fine. But me personally, I'm a fight. You got to force me to bust my face open. You got to punch me hard for me to nod my head in this boxing match. And if it ain't strong enough, that's all I'm trying to say. So, whatever issues we differ on or how we feel, that's fine. But those points that I gave you, please pay attention to them. Because they're extremists on both sides. Those who think that Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahab is Islam. And his teachings are the Quran and the Sunnah. And those who totally disrespect, who totally disregard, who totally reject, and who blame all problems on him. That's an extreme that we do not accept. And I'll mention one last thing, Sheikh, with regards to the whole Wahhabi, Salafi thing, etc. It's you can Google or you can YouTube how the Caliphate was lost, how the Khilafah was lost. And the first thing that the people are going to say is Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab, the Saudis, King Abdul Aziz, the Saudis, the Wahhabis, they destroyed the Islamic Caliphate. The reason why Israel is Israel, no more Palestine, is because of the Wahhabis. They fought against the Turks, the Ottomans, blah, 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 blah. And many people, I'm talking about many people, I'm not going to mention names, people that have doctorate degrees, famous personalities that are well known, they'll say stuff like this, openly and publicly. They destroyed What if I told you, and what if I showed you, what if I could prove to you that there were many countries that fought against the Ottomans and rebelled against the Ottomans and killed the Ottomans and collaborated with the British and defeated the Turks under the pretext that they would be promised authority, they would be made king of this land, of all of the Arab lands. And it's a historical fact that this king or this country then and to this day are not Wahhabis.